The alien admiral leaned back in his throne chair, mandibles clicking smugly. "The humans will kneel," he declared. And just as the galaxy's cameras turned to Earth, humanity turned on the lights. The alien admiral lounged in his throne chair, mandibles clicking in satisfaction as the great hollow map displayed a perfect ring of warships around the blue-green sphere below. Earth hung silent, caught like prey in a glittering snare. "All channels," the admiral barked. His voice rippled through translators across dozens of fleets, species, and worlds. "Let it be witnessed across the galaxy, humanity kneels today." Billions tuned in. Every empire wanted to see the troublesome species humbled. To many, Earth was a curiosity. Loud, impulsive, obsessed with strange rituals and inefficient jokes. To others, humans were dangerous precisely because they never seemed to know their place. But with the fleets of 12 civilizations surrounding their homeworld, the outcome looked inevitable. On the human side of the feed, a single figure appeared. A man in a crisp navy blue uniform sat calmly at a table, mug of steaming coffee in hand. His name tag read Captain Elias Ward. He smiled politely. "Ah, I see you've brought the whole neighborhood. Must have been a nightmare finding parking." The translator paused, then relayed his words. Confusion stirred among the alien counselors. Some laughed, a thin, barking sound. Others frowned. The admiral leaned forward. "You face annihilation, human. And you open with humor." Ward raised his cup. "Well, Admiral, if I'm about to die, I'd rather do it caffeinated." He sipped leisurely, as though the encirclement of Earth was no more pressing than a rainy morning commute. Across the galaxy, millions of alien viewers murmured. The human was not begging, not raging, not bargaining. He was joking. "Your fleets will surrender your planet, your resources, and your people," the admiral declared. "Kneel, and some of you may live." Ward set his mug down with deliberate calm. "That's quite an offer. Though, where I'm from, we usually negotiate before we start divvying up the furniture." A chittering voice broke in from one of the secondary commanders, a reptilian officer whose eyes glittered with malice. "Your bargaining position is laughable. You are surrounded by 600 capital ships and 3 planetary siege platforms." Ward tilted his head. "Impressive inventory. Did you memorize all that, or are you reading off a shopping list?" Laughter erupted on the human side, subdued, but unmistakable. A technician somewhere couldn't mute his chuckle fast enough. The reptilian officer bristled. The admiral snarled, "Enough of this charade. Humanity is finished. You will comply." Ward folded his hands together, posture polite, voice steady. "Admiral, allow me to clarify something. Humanity doesn't really do finished. We do baseball. We do coffee. We even do reality television. But finished? That's not in our playbook. Baseball." The admiral spat the word as though it were poison. "Think of it like strategy with a bat. 3 strikes and you're out. You've already swung twice." Alien delegates muttered in confusion. A few tried to decode the metaphor. Most dismissed it as primitive nonsense. The admiral sneered. Ward continued pleasantly, "You've brought quite the party. I almost feel rude not offering snacks. Thanksgiving, maybe? Big human holiday. We sit around, eat too much, argue, and occasionally throw food. This does remind me of it." A new voice cut in, this one older, steadier. The Cha historian, a scaled being with centuries of memory implants, shifted uneasily. "Admiral, I urge caution. The records speak of humanity in war." The admiral silenced him with a wave. "Fairy tales. Humanity is contained. Weak. Loud. Nothing more." Ward's smile didn't waver, but his eyes hardened for a fraction of a second. "You may find," he said softly, "that fairy tales carry more truth than you'd like." The broadcast hummed with tension. Billions of spectators leaned closer. The admiral pressed forward. "Your stalling fails. Submit within the hour, or we reduce your planet to ash." Ward glanced over his shoulder, as though casually checking with someone off-screen. He nodded once, then looked back into the camera. "I'll need the full hour, Admiral. Paperwork, you understand. Bureaucracy is murder." "An hour, then. No more." The feed cut from the Admiral's side, leaving only Ward visible to Earth and the galaxy beyond. He exhaled slowly, as though releasing the polite mask for just a breath. Then he muttered, too quiet for the official feed but caught on a side channel. "Funny thing about Earth. When it goes quiet, it's not empty. It's listening." The fleets around Earth hummed with activity. Engines flared, weapons calibrated, sensor nets wove tighter. Within their command chambers, alien captains debated. Why stall when they have no chance? Why laugh? Because they're primitive. They lack dignity. Or because they know something. No one could agree. Ward remained seated in his modest command room, sipping coffee. His crew worked silently behind him, trading subtle glances. No panic. No despair. Only the strange, unnerving calm of people who had prepared for this moment. On civilian alien networks, chatter exploded. Memes appeared instantly. Humans with coffee mugs facing armadas, baseball bats breaking battleships. To ordinary alien citizens, it was entertainment. To their leaders, it was deeply unsettling. The Admiral's voice echoed privately among his officers. "At countdown's end, unleash fire. Make Earth an example." Ward, alone on his feed, smiled faintly, eyes fixed on the stars beyond his window. "Let's see," he murmured, "who's really on display." The alien fleet shimmered like a noose of metal stars. Within their ships, officers analyzed Earth's silence. The planet below glowed faintly with city lights, as though nothing unusual hovered above it. No distress beacons. No mass evacuations. No frantic negotiations. Just stillness. For some, that quiet was reassuring. For others, it was maddening. In the council chamber of the siege fleet, alien commanders gathered as the countdown ticked toward Earth's deadline. Species of every form clustered around the Admiral's dais, scaled, feathered, chitin-plated, and furred. The air buzzed with translation static. A young insectoid officer raised her forelimbs. "Admiral, with respect, humans are not behaving according to profile." The lack of panic. "They are cowards hiding behind jokes," the Admiral snapped. "Their calm is pretense." The insectoid hesitated. "Or preparation." Laughter echoed from a thick-skinned mammalian warlord. "Preparation? They have nothing. Look at their weapons grid. Primitive railguns, scattershot defenses. Their navy is scattered cargo haulers and outdated frigates." The Cha historian stirred, his scales a deep copper hue. "I have studied the wars of old. Humanity fought with cunning disproportionate to its numbers. They have a record of feigning weakness." "Ancient myths," another commander growled. "This is the age of empires, not legends." The Admiral silenced the room with a single gesture. "My orders stand. At hour's end, we burn their world." Meanwhile, back on Earth's feed, Captain Elias Ward leaned casually against his desk, jacket unbuttoned. He looked less like a cornered officer and more like a man killing time in an airport lounge. The galaxy watched him. Billions of alien eyes tracked every blink, every smirk. Ward spoke mildly, as if chatting with neighbors across a fence. "You know, Admiral, there's an American saying, 'Don't count your chickens before they hatch.' Course, I don't suppose you folks keep chickens." The Admiral's face darkened on split screen. "What nonsense is this now?" "It's about assumptions," Ward replied smoothly. "You think you've got us wrapped up in a neat little bow. But sometimes, the box bites back." A ripple of unease moved through the alien commanders. The Admiral leaned forward. "Enough metaphors. You have 30 minutes left." Ward checked his watch with exaggerated care. "Plenty of time. I still haven't finished my crossword." The casual remark detonated across alien broadcasts. Commentators scrambled to decode the phrase. Crossword? Word weapon? Puzzle warfare? Some laughed nervously. Others frowned, unsettled. Within Earth's command bunker, Ward muted his mic for a moment. His crew worked in hushed efficiency. Screens glowed with orbital data. Silent codes pulsed across encrypted channels. Not a trace leaked to the alien observers. A young lieutenant approached. Sir, cloak fields remain stable. No external scans have penetrated. Good, Ward said softly. Keep them blind. Do we keep stringing them along? Ward's smile returned, thin and sharp. Oh, absolutely. Nothing rattles a bully like someone who refuses to flinch. The lieutenant grinned, reassured by his captain's unshakable poise. Back in the alien fleet, arguments fractured. They should be begging. Why are they stalling? Perhaps they've accepted death. No. Look at them, he's taunting us. The historian's voice cut through the noise. You are all ignoring the essential fact. Humans thrive under pressure. Cornering them has never ended cleanly. Our archives speak of last stands that defied reason. They weaponize desperation. The Admiral sneered. We are not fighting archives. We are fighting one fragile world. The historian's gaze lingered on Ward's image. Then why does he smile? Ward's voice chimed back onto the channel, pleasant as ever. I do admire your coordination, Admiral. 12 species working together. Quite the family reunion. Though, if I may, you parked a bit close to one another. Don't want to knock wings, do we? The reptilian commander hissed. Your mockery grows tiresome. Not mockery, Ward corrected gently. Observation. Humans notice details. It's how we survive. It's how we win games. What game could possibly matter now? Ward's eyes glinted. The long one. For the first time, silence filled the council chamber. The words carried weight. Civilian alien channels lit up with commentary. Some mocked humanity's bravado. Others whispered uneasily. A growing minority began to suspect Earth was not as helpless as the fleets believed. One popular broadcast host, a feathered Avery, clicked nervously into the camera. The humans joke too much. They are hiding something. Mark my words. Ward leaned back, stretching as though bored. Admiral, remind me, what happens if a fleet this size suffers an accident? Say, a chain reaction among your reactors. The Admiral bristled. Empty threats. You lack the capacity. Ward smiled faintly. True. I don't have the capacity. But physics does. The words slid like a blade. Aliens shifted uneasily. Ward's tone hadn't changed. Still cordial, still mild, but every syllable carried quiet menace. 20 minutes remained. On the flagship bridge, the Admiral tried to steady his officers. Ignore their games. Humans hide behind words because they have no weapons. The historian whispered, almost to himself, No weapons you've seen. Ward raised his coffee again, as if making a toast. Well, Admiral, whatever happens, I want to thank you. You've given Earth something priceless. And what is that? The Admiral demanded. Ward's grin sharpened. A global audience. The words rippled across the galaxy. Billions leaned forward, suddenly aware they weren't watching a surrender but the opening act of something else. The Admiral's mandibles clicked in frustration. Your posturing ends soon. Ward's eyes flicked to the unseen stars beyond his window. Yes, he said softly, it does. The countdown reached 5 minutes. Across 12 fleets, weapons primed, targeting grids locked onto Earth. The Admiral's command rang out like a funeral bell. On my mark, unleash fire. Billions of alien viewers leaned closer, waiting to see the blue planet consumed. On Earth's broadcast, Captain Elias Ward set down his empty coffee mug and folded his hands. His voice was calm, almost sympathetic. I imagine you've rehearsed this moment, he said. The triumphant strike, the clean victory. But history is funny, Admiral. It rarely reads the way conquerors expect. The admiral sneered. Your words will burn with your cities. Ward's eyes sharpened. Perhaps. Or perhaps your words will echo with your wreckage. The feed cut for a heartbeat, then returned, but not as before. Above Earth, the void rippled. For centuries, nothing had stirred beyond the orbital stations and civilian satellites. Now the blackness fractured, like curtains parting. From shadow emerged steel giants. Vast silhouettes, larger than any known dreadnought, bled into sight. Hulls of obsidian and silver glimmered, their surfaces etched with glowing scars of ancient battles. The alien fleets froze. Their sensors screamed with new contacts. Hundreds, then thousands. The numbers grew until the siege ships realized with dawning horror, the humans had not been unarmed. They had been hiding. The forgotten Armada revealed itself. Massive cruisers drifted forward in precise formation, their engines humming like choirs. Weapons bristled, rail cannons the size of mountains, missile bays yawning open, beam arrays pulsing with restrained fury. And at the heart of the formation, a colossal flagship emerged, the Aegis Eternal. Its hull gleamed with ancient Earth insignia, the kind painted when humans first crossed the stars. Gasps rippled through alien command chambers. This is impossible. They were primitive. Where did this come from? No records show. Ward's voice sliced through the panic. Ah, there we are. I'd say fashionably late, but technically they've been waiting centuries. The Admiral's mandibles clattered. Deception. You concealed this fleet. Correct, Ward interrupted politely. We kept them tucked away, like a surprise birthday gift. Humanity loves surprises. A reptilian commander shouted, those ships cannot be functional. Relics, nothing more. As if in answer, one of the human warships powered its primary cannon. A beam of searing light speared across the void, punching clean through an alien cruiser. The vessel blossomed into fire, fragments scattering into the night. Ward raised an eyebrow. Functional enough. The alien formation buckled. Captains shouted conflicting orders. Some pushed forward, others retreated, and several froze entirely. Ward leaned slightly toward his mic, voice smooth as velvet. Admiral, it seems introductions are in order. This is our extended family. Ships we mothballed after wars we prefer not to repeat. But since you've come knocking, his smile thinned, we thought we'd dust them off. Across alien broadcasts, hysteria spread. Commentators stammered about the scale, the weapons, the impossible secrecy. Civilian audiences watched fleets they trusted stumble like prey before a predator. Inside the Admiral's flagship, chaos reigned. Officers shouted, "Form the line. Too many targets, sensors overloaded. They're jamming." The historian whispered in awe. The myths were true. Humanity never disarmed. They hid their strength. The Admiral slammed a clawed fist. Regain control. Fire on them. The first exchange lit the heavens. Alien torpedoes streaked toward the human armada. Shields flared around the ancient warships, shrugging off blasts that should have torn them apart. In return, human volleys struck with clinical precision. Each shot was a scalpel, slicing engines, rupturing cores, disabling command bridges. The Armada moved as though guided by one mind. Every alien maneuver anticipated, every formation countered. It was not chaotic battle. It was execution. Ward's voice carried softly over the open channel. Admiral, forgive me if this feels one-sided. We had a head start planning this. You tricked us, the Admiral roared. Ward's smile was faint, almost sad. No. You tricked yourselves. You assumed the quiet meant weakness. In truth, it meant patience. An alien battleship tried to ram Aegis Eternal. The flagship rotated gracefully, releasing a swarm of drones. They tore the attacker apart mid-charge, shredding it into fragments before it touched the hull. The explosion illuminated the earth below, casting long shadows across continents. Ward sighed softly, adjusting his collar. That was unnecessary. You should save your strength. For the first time, alien civilians watching began to panic, not for the humans, but for their own empires. If humanity had hidden this fleet for centuries, what else were they hiding? A feathered commentator whispered on air, "If this is what they reveal when cornered, what lies deeper in the dark?" The Admiral's voice cracked with fury. "This changes nothing. We outnumber you still." Ward's eyes glinted. Outnumber? Perhaps. Outmatched? Entirely. At his signal, the Armada shifted. Massive wings of ships rotated in unison, cutting the alien noose apart like blades through cloth. One after another, alien ships winked out in blossoms of fire. Ward spoke evenly, like a teacher to an unruly class. "Consider this your third strike, Admiral. And you know what that means in baseball." The reptilian commander snarled, "Explain your cursed games." Ward chuckled, low and humorless. "It means you're out." The battle raged, but the outcome was already written. Human warships carved through the siege fleets with cold precision, each strike deliberate, each movement rehearsed. It was not the rage of cornered prey. It was the calm of predators finally choosing to hunt. Ward's tone lost its playfulness. When he spoke again, it was iron. "You came to Earth expecting surrender. What you found instead is history awakening. And history is merciless." The historian, trembling, whispered the old warning recorded in his people's archives, "Never corner a human. For the silence hides their teeth." On screen, Ward raised his mug in a final toast. "Cheers, Admiral. Here's to surprises." The feed cut just as another alien flagship erupted into a sunburst of wreckage. The alien fleets hung shattered across the solar rim, burning wreckage drifting like broken ornaments in the cold void. Yet silence ruled the comm channels, not victory cheers, not surrender pleas, just an uneasy vacuum waiting for someone to speak. Commander Rourke stood calm at the center of Earth's defense nexus, hands clasped behind his back. He had worn the same faint smile all day, a curve that looked polite but never warm. To the alien envoys watching via hollow feed, it was disarming. To his crew, it was terrifying. "Status?" he asked lightly, as though checking the weather. "Multiple coalition flagships destroyed. Remaining fleets are withdrawing to a safe perimeter," reported Lieutenant Vega. Her voice carried the thrill of triumph, but her eyes flicked nervously toward her commander. The Zorathian ambassador broke the silence first, his scales paling under the hollow's flicker. This is impossible. No records, no archives, ever spoke of such weapons, such ships. Humanity was primitive, contained. How do you possess this?" Rourke's smile sharpened. "Oh, we've always had a knack for collecting antiques." Behind him, the tactical hollow shifted, revealing a massive formation emerging from the asteroid belt, an armada so vast it looked less like a fleet and more like a moving continent of steel. Each hull bore Earth's insignia, faint with age but glowing anew under activation codes. Old warships, dreadnoughts, carriers, stealth cruisers, revived from hidden vaults where they had slept for centuries. The alien delegations watching the broadcast reeled back. The Kron warlord snarled, tusks rattling as he slammed a fist to the table. "This is deception. Fabrication." But his aide whispered, trembling, "No. I see the signatures. Ancient human registry codes. They are authentic." The hollow chamber fell into chaos, alien voices overlapping. Rourke didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. A soft word carried more weight. "You see, ladies and gentlemen, Earth's history books were edited. By us. By design." The Kalari scholar leaned forward, gills fluttering in agitation. "Why hide such power? Why let yourselves appear weak for so long?" Rourke turned to the hollow camera, meeting the galaxy's eyes directly. His tone was courteous, conversational, almost amused. "Because predators don't announce themselves until the herd is surrounded." Across the stars, in hidden war rooms and senate chambers, alien leaders watched humanity's quiet reveal. The fleets they had encircled were not Earth's last line of defense, but its bait. Rourke paced slowly, never hurried, never breaking his steady rhythm. You believed Earth fractured, unprepared, backward. You mistook our silence for weakness. That was intentional. We've been busy, waiting. On cue, tactical readouts flared with new signatures, wormholes blossoming around Neptune's orbit, disgorging still more human ships. These weren't ancient. They were new, sleek, forged in secret shipyards buried in forgotten systems. Together with the revived relics, they formed a force unmatched in recorded galactic memory. The Drow ambassador hissed, frills vibrating with fear. You lured us here. You let us think you were vulnerable. Rourke offered a polite shrug. What can I say? We're excellent hosts. And when guests arrive uninvited, it seems only polite to prepare a reception. The fleet's first movement was not an attack. Instead, the massive warship spread into formation, sealing Earth behind a wall of iron and plasma. They didn't advance. They simply waited. That patience unnerved the coalition more than any volley could have. The Kron warlord snarled again. Empty theatrics. You cannot fight the entire coalition. Even with this relic fleet, you are outnumbered 10-1. Rourke's voice stayed mild, even friendly. Oh, we never intended to fight the entire coalition. That would be wasteful. With a gesture, he pulled up new holoscreens. Every alien world represented in the invasion force lit up. Planetary defense grids, communication hubs, power relays, all flickering with red. The silence that followed was suffocating. Rourke's eyes gleamed, still polite. You see, while your fleets gathered to surround us, we were busy slipping knives into your shadows. Hidden fleets, covert strikes, quiet little infiltrations. We've already compromised your strongholds. At my word, your homeworlds go dark. Gasps, growls, curses erupted from the hollow chamber. The Kalari scholar whispered, voice hoarse, a trap, from the very beginning. Rourke finally let the mask of courtesy harden into something colder. Not a trap. Insurance. On the command deck, tension thickened. Crew members sat rigid, their hands hovering above control panels, every eye flicking between their commander and the growing chaos of alien reactions. The Zorathian ambassador tried to muster defiance. If you do this, you'll ignite a war that will consume the galaxy. Rourke leaned closer to the hollow, voice soft, deliberate. No. If we do this, we end the war before it begins. Understand the difference. The Kron warlord spat in rage. You wouldn't dare. Rourke's smile returned, razor-edged in its civility. That's the thing about humans. We always dare. Across the coalition fleets, hesitation rippled. Commanders who once salivated at the thought of conquering Earth now stared at sensor feeds filled with human ships that should not exist. Their tactical networks flickered under subtle interference. Their comm relays choked with ghost signals. Every weapon pointed at Earth suddenly felt like it might boomerang back. The human trap was not just military, it was psychological. Lieutenant Vega whispered, almost to herself, "They're breaking. Look at them." Fear's setting in. Rourke clasped his hands again, perfectly still. Of course it is. Fear is the oldest weapon. We just sharpened it. The final nail came when a colossal ship emerged from Mars' shadow, a vessel larger than any dreadnought, shaped like a blade forged for the stars. Its hull glowed with scars of ancient battles, yet its systems pulsed with renewed energy. The flagship of Earth's forgotten Armada. The hollow feeds across the galaxy shook as it broadcast a single message on all frequencies. This is Earth. Stand down, or be erased. The chamber of alien envoys dissolved into uproar, some begging retreat, some demanding immediate withdrawal, others still clinging to denial. Rourke watched it all with the calm of a man hosting a dinner party gone slightly awkward. Then, with quiet finality, he spoke one last line that would echo across history. We didn't survive this long by accident. Remember that before you decide whether to test us again. The transmission cut. Silence swallowed the chamber. Above Earth, humanity's Armada, forgotten no longer, waited like a coiled predator, smiling in the dark.